Hello everyone, I have my sister back at it again with me for another video. Today we are going to be giving our review of Don't Worry Darling. If you would like to skip right to the review, I will have a timestamp on the screen right here to where you guys can go to, and the whole video will be timestamped if you want to skip around. Before we get into it, we do have a couple quick disclaimers. Number one, this is just our personal opinions and interpretation of the movie. We'd love to hear yours down below. Just keep it respectful. Sorry for any background noise or dust particles that may occur in this video. If we have any notes that we forget to add, check down below. We might have a pinned comment. Also, there is going to be spoilers all the way throughout this video. So if you don't want to know what happens throughout the movie, then do not watch this video at all, because we're going to be getting into it as well. There's like a lot of controversies that surround this movie and a lot of things that have happened that would take forever to recap. So I'll probably have like an article down below in the description or like a video or two you can watch to catch up if you're not aware of that as well. Alright, so first we'll start off with why we even wanted to see the movie in the first place. If you've seen enough of my videos, you know that I love Harry Styles, really enjoyed the last album and everything. I have a bunch of videos on the channel. So that's kind of why I want to see the movie. And then for you?
Me, I love Florence Pugh so much. I even have a Florence Pugh shirt on right now. Hold up. Wait, let me get into frame. Look at that. Look at that. Woo! So that's why I want to go see Don't Worry Darling. So you see, it was just like an equal like situation. Like, you know, the two main stars is Harry Styles and Florence Pugh. Yeah. I love Florence Pugh. She loves Harry Styles. It just worked out so well. So that's why I really wanted to see it.
And we got a few trailers before the movie, so we got like more so of like cinematic shots and stuff, and then we got like a few of Harry's acting and stuff like that. So we kind of like got that before the movie, and it kind of gave us a better idea of what the movie is. Like, I was really entranced by the trailers. I was like, oh, I really can't wait to see what the movie is. And then
yeah, it was like somewhat of sometimes I don't know. I kind of thought it was gonna be like more of a horror movie, you know, like more of like a scary.
Isn't it like a thriller? Isn't that what it's called?
Yeah.
I think that's what it is.
Yeah,
I think it's like a psychological thriller or something.
I didn't know what it was gonna be.
Yeah.
But I wanted to find out. That's why I watched it. So I want to go over the experience like total of going to the movie theaters, because when was the last time you've been to the movie theaters?
I don't know. I think it was like 3 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago. The last time I went was before the pandemic.
Yeah, same with me. Last time I've been was no, that's such a lie. I went like when I visited like 2 years ago, I think was last time I went to the theaters. It was definitely just a totally different experience. But like one thing about the movie theaters is when she always went, she always kind of showed up late, not on purpose.
That was literally always my grandma's fault. One thing about my grandma, she's gonna show up to every single movie she goes to 15 minutes late.
Yeah, and the theater I would usually go to, they wouldn't really show trailers. They would more like played like music and they did things for the movies. Like, no, it wasn't like a normal movie theater. Like, it was like some like a dance type thing, you know? And so I haven't been to a movie theater where they played trailers in a really long time. And we didn't realize how many trailers they play before a movie actually starts. Like, they're gonna tell you a showtime, and there's 30 minutes of that time is literally gonna be the trailer.
Yeah, literally, because our timing, it was at 5, and then the movie didn't start till probably 5:30, somewhere around there, and it was a ridiculous amount of trailers. And I remember, like, I never go to the movies very much anyways. I only go if there's something I really want to see for a lot of reasons, but there was just so many different trailers. There was this one Whitney Houston trailer that just had me cracking up, because the woman portraying her just looked nothing like Whitney Houston to me. No disrespect to the actress at all, but it was just something that had me laughing so hard.
She was dying in the movie.
It just took everything out of me. Because I heard of the movie, like, I saw a few shots, but to see the actual trailer, like, I'm telling you, look at that. We need to be lucky.
There's only, like, 5 other people who were in that movie theater. Like, that whole movie. Like, you gotta be lucky, because she was dying.
I was laughing, but I wasn't hugely busted out laughing, like I can be sometimes. Like, I was laughing, but it wasn't, like,
you were holding it.
Like, I was really trying to contain it, because it was so funny to me. But, yeah, literally 30 minutes of trailers, which I think is absolutely ridiculous. I feel like if you say the movie's gonna start at 5, then it should start at 5, because we got there at like 4:50 something. So we waited beforehand, and then all the trailers and trailers and trailers, it was so ridiculous. They're showing us trailers for stuff that's coming out next year. Like, are you kidding me? Talk about, oh, this movie come out March next year. Then why am I seeing the trailer right now? Why am I seeing the trailer right now? Oh
now let's get talking with the actual movie. So, in my opinion, the start of the movie, it was going by really fast. Like, it was like really fast paced in the beginning, and I was like, if the whole movie's like this, like, I'm gonna be like pretty upset, because it was going by really fast. What do you think about the beginning?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that there were some really good shots in there, and I can enjoy it for what it was. But yeah, it was pretty quickly paced. Like, I feel like they only had like a certain amount of time like for the movie, and like, let's just zip past the beginning so we can kind of get into everything.
And the beginning scenes, because it was like the clips, it was really really fast, but it was like really like pleasing aesthetically and stuff like
yeah.
that. Those were literally the clips they used in the trailer. Like everything in the beginning was what was used for this trailer.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
I
noticed that too. I was thinking that, yeah. Whenever he was tying it before she like walked in the room, that scene was so weird. Like the expression on his face while he was tying the tie, I was like, what is going on here? So that's definitely something I want to say.
So I then noticed, even though the movie was going by fast, they did like certain parts where they would just have like these long talking scenes. Like the
Chris Pine scene that he had where he was talking.
When she first saw like the first thing was like the eggs and everything was empty, there's just so many things about the movie where I have questions about it. Why didn't she ask anyone why are the eggs empty? Well, she literally just kept that information to herself. She opened up every single egg and she didn't see they were empty. Like, okay, at my point, what I would have did is I would have seen most of them were empty and I would have shown that to someone. What is this? Or I would have started videoing.
One thing that I want to talk about is whenever it was that little steak on the grill or whatever it was, I hated that shot.
Oh,
that bothered me. And I used that shot like 2 or 3 times and I was like, why did they keep doing the shot? It was horrible. I hated that shot. Oh my gosh. I looked at that and like, why did they pick it?
Okay. Second glitch in the system that I can think of from the top of my head, like this might not even be right, is the main one, the airplane scene where she like goes and travel or whatever, you know what I mean? Like she walks all the way up there. My thing is, why would she do that? Because I get that she was doing it to like see the plane crash, first of all, there would be smoke everywhere. There wasn't anything. So that's already a first sign like something was sus. The guy was like, I don't go that way. No, I don't go that way. I don't go that way. So in my mind, she's gonna walk all the way to this plane crash where there's someone, knowing, like, first of all, she's gonna be super tired by the time she gets there. If someone's hurt, at that point, come on now. At that point, what is she supposed to do? You're already gonna take like an hour to get over where she was trying to get. Okay, so I just want to talk about the whole Margaret situation also. Is why did everyone really just try to like gaslight Florence? Like, okay, because Florence was worried about this girl. You gotta think about it like that. Florence was really worried about her. She's like, that was like my friend, you know what I mean? All these were like, yeah, she was our friend too, and she got crazy, blah, blah, you know? But like, Florence is still wanting to help her, whatever. Like, they're not even like, yeah, it's understandable why you would want to help her. They're not even like that at all. The whole movie. There's like, stay away from her. Like, she's crazy. She's just going through stuff right now. Like, literally just making her seem completely insane. Because even if she did have like some type of a mental health like issue like that, the way they like framed her character, I was just like, So then after that whole Margaret situation happened and everything like that, the part that really got me right here is Bunny. When they went to that whole like dinner like type of beat, you know what I mean? It was so annoying because, okay, obviously it was obvious that Bunny knew. Like, it was obvious that Bunny knew this situation the whole entire time. Because the whole entire time, she was like, any single time Florence was ever trying to bring up Margaret or any of that situation, she would just be like, try to change the subject immediately, try not to talk about it, whatever. Like, it was so obviously that she knew about the situation, because if she didn't know about the situation, obviously she would like be like, yeah, that is kind of odd, you know, that is kind of sus. But for her to be like, no, you're just insane, you're just going crazy. Like, I was just like, how is Florence just like not questioning any, and especially because like she was the most aggressive out of the friend group about the whole time. I'm like, how is Florence really not questioning any of this? I was just like, I want to talk about our very favorite scene in the movie, and we actually did see this scene in the trailer before we seen the movie, but from the trailer, this scene had a very special place in our heart since then. And when we've seen it in the movie, it was something. So you want to say what the scene is?
So basically what happened is, like, Alice is, like, really questioning things around her. And so she basically is talking to Jack about, like, what is your actual job? Because she heard that what he's telling her he's doing, like, he's not actually doing that. He's doing something completely different. So they're kind of talking about that. They're kind of getting into it. And then it's like that scene, not everyone gets this opportunity. And if you keep talking like this, you're going to put it all at risk.
You're worried about demotion? That's what you're worried about?
Our life. Alice, our life together. We lose this.
When that scene played in the movie theaters, we were dying, bro. We were literally dying so much. And even when the scene was over, I kept trying not to
No, because it's always that thing. It's always that thing of like, whenever you're not supposed to laugh, that's like whenever you laugh the hardest.
You know,
that's what we were laughing for like 5 minutes
after that scene. Like the scenes after that were so silent, and I was just like,
no, because like
I was just trying so hard not to start dying laughing because there's people like next to us, and I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, because the thing is, like, whenever we first saw the clip, I remember, like, for whatever reason, I didn't think it was that bad. I was just like, like, it is what it is, right? And then other people started dragging it, and they were talking about how he was, like, switching in between the accents and everything. And then the more I kept seeing it, like, the funnier it started being. So at a certain point, like, I learned, like, the first part, and then I, like, was talking to you the other day, and I, like, made a joke out of, like, that one part, and then I was like, okay, like, let me learn the entire scene. So then I learned it, and then you learned Florence's part, and then we were just having so much fun, and then we were just doing it for, like, 30 minutes yesterday.
This was literally yesterday night.
Yeah, we were getting into it, and literally, I kept thinking about it, like, everything I did after, like, not everyone gets this opportunity. So whenever we, like, actually got to the movie and that scene came on, I told her, I was like, literally look at me, because I'm just going to be, like, sitting in my chair, like, enacting it, you know, obviously not, like, yelling or anything, but just, you know, like, talking to myself or whatever. And so whenever that scene came on, we were laughing so hard the entire time. Like, that's just the exact moment I was waiting for, and I feel like it was even funnier because it was, like, the actual movie and everything and not just acting it out. But that scene is, like, really fun to do. Another thing is, like, rewatching that clip again over and over and over again before we saw the movie, it got me even more hyped to see the movie, 1. And then 2, we were both talking, and we were like, it's a miracle that Florence, like, kept her composure the entire time and just didn't bust out laughing, because, like, Florence, like, she does so little in that scene, but it grabs so much more attention, like, it's so much more well thought out. And then you have Harry, like, jumping in between the accents and Harry's part is so much fun to do, like, because we switched between it a few times, and I'm better at doing, like, Harry's part, like the timing for the second part's a little bit, and then yours, like, with Florence, but I can do okay at Florence's part, but it's just, like, hilarious. Like, that was the funniest scene of the entire movie, and we were just laughing so hard at that. So definitely had to take a second to do our little, like, impression of it, because I was like, it's too funny for us not to try to even do it.
I want to talk about when Harry got the promotion to his job. Okay, during that scene and when the whole Margaret and, like, Bunny, like, Florence, that whole situation was going on, I just want to talk about that. Because why were they switching to him dancing, him just having a good old time, to Florence literally in another room having a mental breakdown? I was just like...
The choreography was literally giving, like, his treat people with kindness music video. It was giving that. It was interspliced with Alice, like, just crying, and I just thought it was such an odd choice for the sequencing, and we were both looking at each other like, why would they choose to sequence it like that? So that was, like, a big thing.
It was just like, maybe if they showed, like, some of it, and then, like, her having the crying or whatever, and then, like, him, like, you're trying to mess up this whole, like, day for him, like, he's trying to have a good time, and then it went to him having a good time or whatever, and it was just done, whatever. But, like, for them to just keep going in between it, and then him just doing the spins over and over, I was like, you guys gotta cut this out, you guys gotta stop it.
Yeah, it just didn't make any sense.
Next with the movie, let's talk about the biggest op, Frank. So... Right when he confessed that, like, everything was true about Margaret and everything was true, you know, and, like, I'm sorry that Bunny just, like, didn't believe you, your friend didn't believe you and everything like that. Okay, so I want to talk about the dinner scene real quick. First of all, he tried to, like, switch up what happened in that room when they were together. Up. Florence Pugh ate up. She called out everyone. When she first started calling out, like, all the honeymoon trips were the same, but everyone meeting each other was the same. Like, every, like, they all, like,
where everyone's from was the same.
Yes, it was all, like, 3 different options they had. I was just like, this girl ate, because, like, we didn't even know that she catched up on all of them. We didn't know until, like,
she
that
really
dinner
put
scene.
Everything together.
Yes, and she said, boom. Boom. She hit him with another one. Boom.
One part I really liked is whenever Jack is pulling out the chair, you know, for him to sit down.
Oh my god.
And then she sits in his chair. That was a power play. That was a moment. I love that. She sat where she belongs. She said, I am the head of the table. Right after he got his little promotion too. She said, I'm the head of the table.
They were all talking, having a good time. As soon as she sat there, they all went silent. They all said,
it was silent for a second, and then they started talking because it was like awkward. Yeah.
I know. She said, she knocked him out of the way. She said, boom, then hit the head. That scene. Next scene, let's talk about the next op in the movie, next op in the film, Jack. So why are we not going to talk about that car scene right there where she's sobbing while they're taking her away from Harry, okay, right? Why does he start screaming? Why does he start screaming in the car? Like, he's acting like he really didn't have no choice, like he really couldn't have, like, let her stay or whatever. I was just like... Oh, because he knew the guys in the red were coming, you know? He knew how to escape. He knew how to go back to normal reality. All he would have to do was go room right before they come. Yeah. And you know what? He probably told them to come. Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, why was he really... It's no more lying to you, Alice. Like, I'm done. I'm done with the lies. We're done with the lies.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna get some people to kidnap you real quick.
Yeah,
okay?
because she was
like,
because Alice was literally saying like, all we have to do is just get away from here, and he was like, okay, and then they're literally like in the car, and like you said, she gets taken away, and her performance for that part, she devoured. It was so good. Like, she tapped into something special, and then you have Harry's part, which was just not good, and he just kept saying, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, and like the emotion was building up, but it was just getting worse, and it was just like the juxtaposition, like it was just bad. It was just bad overall. Like, we were laughing so hard. I wanted to ask you a question, and it's like, if you believe them as a couple, like in the movie, you know, because I think I heard someone else say this, I think it was Kenya, but it was like, whenever I watch a movie with a couple, I have to believe that you were together before the movie and after the movie. Is it something that you like actually believe watching it, or do you feel like it was like kind of phony and like it wasn't there? Like, I want to hear your thoughts on.
Okay, in my whole thing, it seemed like Florence was actually like in a relationship with someone. Harry just seemed like it was fake. Like, it seemed like it was a part of the job.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, his acting, like, none of it like really seemed like convincing to me, you know?
Yeah.
Florence, she like really seemed like that was like someone she actually cared about, you know what I mean? Like, that's someone she saw a future with. Harry just looked like he was just doing it for the day. Doing it for a check.
Oh, and you would do it too for a check.
Stop.
Okay, so I guess my whole thoughts on the thing is, like, I can get exactly what you're saying, because, like, if you look at it, Florence definitely seemed, like, more invested in it. Like, I feel like there was just more detail that she put into her character versus, like, what Harry put into his character. I really think he tried his best to, like, get into it, and so, I don't know, part of me is, like, I can kind of see it, I kind of can't see it. Like, I could kind of leave it, but yeah, Florence is more, like, invested into it, versus more so you could tell that he seemed maybe a tad bit detached.
I think it's just he's so new to acting, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I saw some people say, like, this is, like, his sign to just stick to singing and stuff like that. And, like, I'm not even gonna hate on him like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't terrible. You know, it wasn't terrible. It was just, he just needs more practice. He needs more work.
I feel like the thing is, it wouldn't have been so noticeable if he wasn't acting right next to Florence Pugh.
Yeah, if he
was acting next to like some other actress,
that
you
was
know,
like the same level,
then I don't think it would have been as bad. But basically, I kind of just feel like Florence, like, even though, like, I mean, she had those moments where she was, you know, talking loud and whatever, but, like, I don't know, it felt more believable.
Everything.
It felt more believable. It's like, I don't know, like, Florence could, like, show so much less, like, her, like, she wouldn't have to go yell and a bunch of that to, like, show emotion for it to, like, be believable or whatever.
Yeah.
And then when she got to that point, it was like, you know, wow, like, whatever, like, it's even that much more believable or whatever. Mm-hmm. So, like, even, like, just doing less, like, it was more believable.
Yeah,
versus him, he's going over the top, but I'm not necessarily
Florence, she can act out any type of emotion to make it believable. Like, when she was happy in, like, the very beginning of the scene, like, with the drinks and everything, like, she genuinely, like, she looked happy, you know? We know she wasn't happy on that set, but she looked happy.
No, we know she wasn't happy on that set. No, the way you just snuck that in. Oh my gosh.
No, but she looked like she was having a good old time, for real. She was like, eh. Like, Harry didn't even look like he was having that good of a time. He looked like he was just, like, there. Like, it was, like
going along with
like,
it.
No, this was him. This is her. It was just, like, totally, like, such a different thing for real. And, like, the thing is, even if, like, the roles were reversed, even if, like, Harry had to, like, dance with the drinks or whatever, you know, and, like, Florence had to just be watching their smile. Like, Florence would have made this hurt, like, watching believable. Like, and then he would have did the drinks and been like, what is he doing? So, basically, after the whole car scene, whenever he gets her committed, I believe that's, like, the term for whatever, but, like, he gets her sent away and, like, they force all these, like, pills down her throat and whatever, and then, like, it gives us flashbacks to the life that they were living before the one that they had at that point, and then it's like she's a nurse or a doctor or something like that, like something in the medical field, and then it's like he's like unemployed or whatever and like looking for jobs and stuff, and so like we kind of like see like that part of it. And one thing I wanted to say is like his look in that time really caught me off guard with like the glasses and the haircut and everything. Don't even get me started on whenever they had him with the longer hair. Like it was looking a mess. It was looking a mess. I don't know why they do that. I don't know. Like, it just wasn't it, in my personal opinion. So that's definitely something that I had to state there as well. And then, the second part of the scene where, like, it's, like, again happening, like, I didn't even realize, but it's, like, the song, like, the big, like, thing with the song's, like, with you all the time. I didn't fully, like, understand till later on that song is what made her, like, that's from their normal reality. That's, like, what made her go back there. And that's why she was remembering it, because it was a glitch in the system. Like, he was singing it outside the thing, and that's, like, what made her realize that that's why it's like was stuck in her head and all of this stuff. Like a song like wouldn't be stuck in her head that like no one knew unless it was outside of the reality, you know? And so when the whole flashback thing went and we found out this was a whole virtual reality, like this is just like a system, I was just like, I was jaw dropped because like, I'm gonna be honest real quick. The movie before wasn't even that interesting. I'm gonna be kind of honest. It was just like, it was really confusing, really fast paced, you know? As soon as that plot twist happened at the end with like, it was a whole virtual reality, like her whole reality was fake and everything like that, I was just like,
yeah, because then that's whenever they show him watching the videos of Frank talking or whatever, and then like
and
showing
like,
them both in the bed and like getting programmed together and like the song and all of that stuff. Yeah, that definitely was
that.
interesting.
And then you find out like Frank is just
it.
like a YouTuber or something like that. Like he's like a leader of like this.
Yeah.
That's crazy for real.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And then what happened after that was like her confrontation with him in a simulation or like whatever it is, and she's saying like, how could you do this to me? And like they're both getting in like to an argument there or whatever, because like we said, he had her like committed or whatever, and every time she brought up concerns with that and was saying something wasn't right, like whenever they were at the party earlier, she kept wanting to go home from the party, like she didn't want to do it, and he kept just like ignoring her and like, you know, pushing her concerns off to the side. So they were kind of talking about that and whatever, and then eventually like he admits, he was like, I did this for us, for a better life, like you were working all the time, and she was like, yeah, but I enjoyed working whatever because it was like my life and whatever. And he was like, well, now you get to stay at home and I hate this job, but I do it for us and whatever. He's trying to reason with her. He's trying to get her to just like drop it or whatever. He starts like grabbing her body and like suffocating her. Yeah, he starts like suffocating her and whatever, and then that's whenever she kills
and then
him.
Miss Florence Pugh, she said boom.
Yeah.
And I said, okay.
Yeah, she grabbed the glass. Yeah, that was that part.
Yes, and then later on, the leader of like the whole virtual reality, his wife kills him too. I'm like, thank you. Like, this can't be going on any longer.
Yeah. And then Bunny comes in after Alice kills Jack, and she's like, you have to go. Like, I know about this entire thing. I'm all in and whatever. And before that, Jack also tells her, like, the kids that they have aren't real. Like, it's just a simulation and whatever. And she's like, you have to go right now before they get you. Like, you have to take Jack's car. And so then after that scene, like, Florence, she is, like, drenched in blood because she just killed him, obviously.
I wanted to say the whole thing with Bunny, too. Like, especially because, like, they were like, the kids aren't real. And she was like, the reason why I'm here is for my kids, bro. That part was so sad. Yeah. Because, like, that just means, like, in her actual life, like, she had, like, kids, and, like, they died, and then, you know.
Yeah, she was like,
she
they're real to
me.
me.
This virtual reality, and I was just like, it was so sad, but also the part where she was like, they're real to me. It reminded me of the part of Black Widow where Florence Pugh was like, no, but it was real. It was real to me. Don't say that. It was like that part at like the dinner table or whatever. Like when they're like talking about like the family, like because they haven't been together in a bit.
And then after that, like Alice is just like walking in like the street or whatever. And then it's like the lights start breaking and like the wives start getting like out of trance of their husbands. Like they're not letting them hold them back. Like they all start like walking together and whatever. And then she sees the people like start coming for her or whatever. So then she runs to Jack's car. And then that's when she starts driving and they're kind of like chasing her.
And then the part of the scene where she literally ate so hard and slayed like no one could ever slay before. There's two cars next to her, one car in front of her, right? She really stopped the cars because they were zooming so fast, you know, they couldn't just boom. So they boomed together and she stopped and she said boom and she turned around. I was like, okay, slay. I thought that the car driving scene was great though. Like that was definitely cool as well. Okay, so first she goes and she runs up that hill after that. And then her car stops working, so she jumps out of the car. I said, okay. Because the only time, like, if she doesn't jump out of this car right now, she's gonna be too late. And they start climbing up the mountain. I was like, didn't think they would think of that. And then Jack characters come back, and that part was kind of confusing because I'm like, didn't the guy die?
Yeah, so I thought, like, maybe he comes back
I think it was her imagination.
She killed them or something like that. That's what I thought at first, and then it went away. So I was like, I guess, like, I don't know, it didn't really make sense.
I think it was just her imagination.
So, yeah, and then
it wasn't confirmed.
And then we came to, like, kind of realize that, we think. And
to be honest with you guys, we low-key forgot which one was the ending scene, so we're done with this.
Not gonna be able to go to every single scene, but these are the ones that, like, we can remember, basically.
Yeah, because it ended at, like, a really weird scene. That's all I remember. Where you'd be like, that's it. Like, that's
the way that it ended was, like, so unresolved, you know? That's kind of how I felt. So now we can kind of give our overall thoughts on the movie. Okay, so this is Olivia Wilde's second movie, and the first one was Booksmart. I went to go see it with my family after I graduated high school. We did not like the movie at all. One of the worst movies that I've ever seen. Like, the experience was just not it. So imagine my surprise whenever it was getting all this acclaim and saying, oh, it was one of the best movies that came out this year. Like, I do not understand how people like the movie. That movie was absolutely horrible. Did not like it at all. And so I forget whenever I connected it that she did that movie, but yeah, so that's definitely something to say. So I definitely think that this was a step up from that.
I have never actually watched Booksmart, but I love Diane Silver, so if I was ever going to watch it, I would watch it for her.
I enjoyed the movie for what it was. I definitely think it was entertaining. I don't think Harry was absolutely terrible in this movie, like we kind of talked about earlier. I think he was kind of just there. Like, he wasn't really that much, like, of a standout as, like, the supporting actor, at least in my opinion, and especially, like we said, like, being right next to Florence Pugh could kind of really show, like, the difference in acting chops and, like, whatever it is. So there were some scenes that were really bad, but the majority of the scenes, they were, like, okay, you know? I feel like some of the scenes that came out were some of the worst scenes in the movie, like, honestly, that we saw before. So that's definitely something I wanted to say. Generally, I do feel like Harry can get a lot better as an actor, like you were saying earlier. I definitely think that there's more, like, working with the acting coach and stuff. I definitely think that he can improve, and that's definitely something that I wanted to state there. And like I said before, I do love his music, and we're going to go see him in concert, so that's definitely going to be super fun. So definitely excited for that, but I feel like he has a lot of room to grow as an actor. But I mean, overall, it was definitely an entertaining movie. I like the way that it was shot, and I definitely think that it could have ended better. It was kind of unresolved in several ways, but it was something that I enjoyed watching throughout the entire time. And then the last thing that I wanted to say is Florence was definitely the best at acting in this entire movie. I thought that she was fantastic. I thought she really committed to the character, and there was so much detail in it. And, you know, like I said, even in scenes where she's not, like, over the top in terms of, like, emotional or whatever, she still, like, brought it. So I definitely thought that she was the best in this movie, and definitely earned, you know, the lead actor and everything, and did what she had to do. So I think that's kind of like my overall thoughts on the movie.
I also think Florence slayed that role. I love Florence Pugh so much. I mean, I think it was, like, pretty obvious. Even when we saw the trailers, we knew she was about to eat up that role. Like, it was no question. It was no question that she was about to do good on that role. It was questioning everyone else who was in the movie. But her, love her.
Yeah, and this was actually, like, the first thing that I've ever seen Florence in. I haven't seen her in anything before just because I wasn't really interested in watching it.
And she's finally gonna join the Florence stan community. Yes! Welcome, welcome! Ah! Are you excited?
We'll see. I want to see other movies that she does in the future. People say Midsommar is terrifying, so I don't know if I want to watch it. But I don't know. I'll check out some other stuff.
It's really visual.
We'll see. Yeah, I don't know. We're gonna have to see in terms of that. But I definitely thought that she was, like, easily the best actor in, like, the entire movie, and she kind of just put everyone else to shame with, like, her chops. I thought Chris Pine was great, for the record, as well. So that's definitely something I wanted to state. But that is going to be it for our thoughts on the Don't Worry Darling movie and everything. Love to hear your thoughts down below in the comments. Just keep it respectful, please. And then you're gonna have your YouTube channel down below if you want it.
That I never post on, yeah.
So we'll definitely have that down below as well. And then, did you want to have your Instagram down there or whatever?
Yeah.
So we'll have that down below. And then the first link down below is going to be my second channel. So if you want to see more of me, definitely check me out on there. Also going to have Twitter, Instagram, and Spotify if you'd like to follow me, as well as links to educate you guys on important situations. And that's going to be it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.